3D too, because I sent them the files and they manipulated them and made their video ad for them.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool. That was fun.
Yeah. And it's cut time, I guess, huh?
Not in the beginning it doesn't, but as you get prolific in the software, yes,
right.
It's nice. I'm good at it. I've been using it since '97. So in '98 I would probably tell you, oh man, this is going to take a while. But now it doesn't. Now it's fun. And then you get a bank of stuff. I got a 2-bank, a 3-bank, a flipper right, flipper left. And you just grab it, throw it in. And if there's anything changed, then you change that. But otherwise, usually everything's pretty much the same with whatever is there. And the solid is there. I can rotate it. Move it out of the way, whatever it happens to be.
Great.
So it's very beneficial for the designer.
Well, let's open it up to you guys and see what kind of questions you guys have for John.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk.
Yes, this guy right here, sitting close to the microphone.
I'll take one. So what's your, do you play your own games?
I have to. Yeah, for a while. My love, my enjoyment is the creating them. And when they're done, and then it's like, I played it for a little while, I go, okay, next. Pretty much that's the way it is for me. But I'll go back and play one, now and then.
And what's your favorite pin that you did not design?
Well, boy, it's tough. I've always leaned on firepower. I used to love to play the hell out of that game. It was just something about it, the sound package and everything that went with it. Williams was cutting a lot of new ground there with their packages. And that, for me, was one that really inspired me. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you for those questions.
Yeah, come on down. Come on.
So with the new speed of these games that are coming out, do you find from a design perspective you have to take that into consideration compared to older generation games that play half the speed? Some of the games that I've played now, there seems to be a lot of airball going on just because of the sheer speed of the games. Just from a design perspective, you have to take that into consideration.
You are right. Yeah, that is a problem actually. I'm trying to dial down the slingshot speeds. Actually, on Mustang, they launched them all, and sometimes it's a bit of an argument to get the program to turn it down because they're adjustable. You can go in there and turn the slingshots down so they don't kick quite so hard. We ended up putting big fender washers underneath some posts, so because the plastic shields were getting broken because the ball was getting launched off of the slingshot into the edge of the plastics, and they were gone. They were destroyed. So we've got washers under there to try and protect it. We've hopefully dialed down the strength of the kicker too. So that's one thing. Yeah, the speed is something, and it will. If that speed was on an old game, it would just destroy itself in no time. And everything's stronger. They're number 10 screws instead of number 6 screws. Huge amount of difference in the beefiness of the games now. But it makes, I think, for a different experience. I like playing old machines too. But they're different experiences, definitely.
I was one that asked already. You said that the Beatles would be kind of a dream theme for you to make a pinball machine on.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was wondering how far the thought process went in concepting that. Did you have songs picked out? Was there a Penny Lane orbit shot laid out or anything like that?
It went as far as a foam core mock-up presentation of it, because the cabinet was totally different too. I had an overhead play field that you saw in the reflection of the glass. This might be available online. I gave the guys at Louisville permission to throw all my slides up in the internet. Hi guys.
So, and John, we are working on that.
Okay, so
I've been taking notes and getting them into a PDF file, so I'll email you when they're done.
yeah, sure. I'm sure everybody will know that. But the Beatles game is in there, and you can see what I was trying to do with that. To get another step in pinball. And it was received with mixed reactions. I don't know if it was so much that they didn't think that the Beatles was a good license, or was that the upper level playfield wasn't there. I do remember Neil Nicasio telling me, he says, why don't you put a TV screen up there or something? And I said, I don't want to, it's not pinball. But that being said, yeah, I was going to set the Beatles game in their early history, like Hard Day's Night. That would have been the whole game. I wouldn't have gone past that, because that was just the fun, energy, wild era of the Beatles. And that's what I wanted to project. I didn't want to get into the, hey man, what you got over here? Let's do some of this stuff. That was fun too, but in a different way. Yeah, go ahead.
Were there any songs picked out that you knew?
No, just stuff from that era, the early stuff. Say the first 6 albums, you know. They're, you know, please me, you know, just She Loves You. What couldn't be done? Everybody knows those songs. It's beautiful stuff. We did have a very good line on Ringo Starr. He was very receptive, or his managers were very receptive to doing voice for the game.
That would have been cool.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, it would have. Yeah. So, but nothing happened. They just didn't think it was the right time, the right theme either.
I need to see those pictures.
Yeah. It's nothing. It's a sketch. It was done in AutoCAD, I believe, and it's just like a side view of the principle of playing the pinball with the upper level, and you know, you see the reflection of the upper playfield when the lights go on this one, the lights go on this one. It just reflects the playfield, and the other top playfield actually appears about 12 inches below the one that's really there, because you're looking at the reflection, and it plays just like you're there. Because I did make a mock-up of it once.
That sounds very cool.
Yeah, but it didn't go anywhere.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
Now, is that something that you seem passionate about it, so is that something that you would pitch to start
I
making?
already have. It's like the first thing out of my mouth.
They said, here's Mustang.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Another question right here.
Okay.
So, you referenced Mike D's, Creature LCD mod. Stern has had underneath playfield mix with ACDC Premium. Would you be interested in doing something like Mike D's mod, or another underneath mechanism like you did in Congo?
You mean just as a new design to put another window in? I deservedly so got the reputation of putting stuff in the middle of the playfield that screwed everybody up. There's Trudeau at the ridge again, and the ball's going to go out between the flippers, and they're not wrong. But the effect was very good. Now, the one that AC/DC did was something very different in that was just a playfield insert. It's a giant playfield insert. And it got cleaned off and hard-coated over it, so there is no edge. But the cabinet company did nothing but bitch on that thing in production. They hated it. Don't do this anymore. And even the little one in Metallica for the coffin, they still bitched about it, even though it was so little. Yeah, so I don't know. And there's not that we don't want to do it, it's just that there's logistics involved.
It's that battle fighting for what you want.
Yeah, oh yeah, you have to do it. Right now, if there's another company out there, it makes it a little easier. You know, you have to keep on that cutting edge.
You're like, go Jack, go. So I get
Yeah, yeah.
Sarcastic.
Yeah, I know, I understand, but, oh, hello, come on down.
Surprised by that.
Somebody's thinking on the light switch, no. Yeah, I'd love to see some competition. The more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. I enjoyed it when I was doing games at Premier Valley, and Williams and Valley were both producing stuff that was just crazy.
So you feel fire to design.
To create.
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of like, oh, I'm competing with the guy down the
Yes.
hall. Like I hear that.
Well, that went on also. What That's why everybody kind of worked in their little office, you know, and closed the door, and get out, get out. But it was more or less a friendly competition for most everybody. Not everybody, but for most everybody. And it was fun. And I enjoyed those days. That was some classic times. Yeah. Thank you.
Great questions, thank you.
Oh, no more.
Are there any games that you've designed but not been credited for, but maybe you just help design or help consult on?
Not really. No. Boy. I helped Ray Panzer and John Norris get on their feet a little bit. But I didn't really step on their design. You know, I just maybe aligned stuff a little more. And I said, well, your design is still there, so maybe this will work a little better. But nothing other than that. I don't have a heavy hand on somebody else's creation. And that seems to work for me, especially like with artwork. I did artwork for one game, and thank God, again, there again, it's only one game. And that was Global Warfare. And that's how I got my start, actually. And then I went to the mechanical end of it. I like to let the artist, I'll give them a suggestion of what I would like to see on it. Go for it, create it. And then they respond to it, they bloom. They had their creative freedom. And to me, it worked. I really can't complain about any of the art packages I've been handed. Okay.
Was it your idea to put opera singing and write a pinball?
Nope. No, that was Python. Python's that way. I mean, he was directing. And it's good. I'm glad he did. I'm glad he did. He got the feeling he wanted out of the game.
And finally, which game are you most proud of?
Oh, I'd have to go with the creature. That was just something that just worked out so well. That was fun. Fun doing. I remember laughing and having to cut ourselves off on Move Your Car with only 4 different scenarios. And we had like 10 different things we were going to blow up before we finally got around the atomic bomb. And we had to cut it off because we had no time and no space memory-wise. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, coming here from the airport, you guys were telling me how much fun you guys had. It was almost not like work.
Oh, it wasn't
Just
just
laughed all day long. Wouldn't we all love to have jobs like that?
I would gladly give everyone that kind of job if they could. Everybody should have that experience where you just go have fun. Get up, go have fun.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, sometimes it was more fun than others. You took the bad with the good, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about an underrated classic, in my opinion, something that has gotten a lot of positive attention recently, and that is Black Rose.
Oh,
With the cannon popping out of the
Yeah.
field. And
yeah.
It's better than Pirates
I
Caribbean.
played it here.
It's better than Pirates Caribbean.
tell us a little bit about how that theme landed in your lap and how the game design came about.
You know, I really can't remember how the theme came around. It was an original theme. It's just a pirate game, and it's just, let's make a female pirate captain. You know, just throw the sex packet thing.
Yeah.
You know, that always works. And it kind of did. We actually had a scenario running through the management about doing a topless backblast for Europe. And there was a sketch made, and that's as far as it got. Because they said, what's going to prevent these from repopulating back to the United States? I said, nothing. Yeah, it wasn't my idea. I'm a more traditional type of guy, although I would have enjoyed it, but I'm glad it didn't get done that way. But no, Black Rose was just a pirate game. It was a pirate. I had an idea for the cannon mechanism. Borrowed the catapult from Mark Ritchie's Big Guns. And I said, that's a cool mechanism. I said, I got to use that. And so I used that and developed it into the cannon, which is just a catapult down there, and the cannon just oscillates, and it essentially can shoot anything the flippers can shoot, very much. And it worked out real well. The little trapdoor shot up and threw everything out of the way. In fact, if you threw it or managed to get more than one wall be in the cannon, the other one will be sitting next to it on either side. Cue, when that cannon shoots, it knocks that ball back up and out of the way until the catapult resets, and then the ball comes back and falls into the catapult. Where it belongs. And then doesn't get underneath it. So I haven't had any reports that it got underneath it.
It's pretty reliable, huh?
Yes, but I'm hoping that 2 balls don't get down there. They're not supposed to, but you never know. Some doesn't work probably, almost like the Flintstones under the flippers ball ramp. It's never fallen off. Everybody says, oh, that's crazy, it's gonna fall off. It never has fallen off. But if it ever gets stuck there, it will fall off. It won't stay. It's less than half the ball, so it has to fall off. Where's this power failure?
I believe there is a thunderstorm.
One of the
Oh, is there a
terrorists
storm?
that want the Beatles game.
Yeah.
The Beatles game?
Pythons.
Python's here, okay.
Shall make this game.
You're right. I'm glad I went swimming before this place, before the storm came through it.
All right, so you profess a affection for Hollywood Heat.
Yeah, I like that. That was fun.
What is it about that game you like?
The splitting up of the playfield. I like to do different things. I got there's two 3-bank drop targets on there that are synchronized because they have trip coils on them. So you can get into the mode in the game where you can shoot the bottom bank. It'll also knock down the target on the other bank. Come on in. Angelo. Thanks. But that's pretty much it. It's just a little different. Now, the last minute add-in in that game was the hot shot man on the left side. So he says, we need something to get back into the top area. I said, what do you want to do? The ramp right there. This was Gil Pollock, the president. And I said, okay. So I just threw it in at the last minute. And it works really well. It shoots the ball up, you hit the side of the cabinet, and falls back up into the top area. Yeah, it's just a quickie into the little tiny spot where the other flippers are.
And so you designed it with Miami Vice in mind.
Yes, of course. Yeah. It was make the theme, but don't pay for it.
Right.
I got it. There was a lot of them that were that way. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So are there any other questions from the audience? Okay, yeah, sure. Please come on. I don't want to dominate y'all's question time.
I was just curious on Mustang with Ford being the giant corporate monster that it is. Did they have a lot of input into that game as far as?
Only in the terminology. It was the 50th year for the Mustang. That was the whole scenario behind it. And they had a definite presentation in mind how they were going to handle the wording of what this is. This is not Mustang's birthday. This is not Happy Birthday Mustang. Couldn't do any of that. This was 50 years Mustang. And that was their byline. So we had to stick with that. And you'll see that on all the brochures and stuff.
Did they do any input as far as the artwork on it or anything?
The artwork was, it was a bit of a tough road to hoe, actually. It was funny because the guy that George Gomez pretty much directed the artwork on this, he fell in love with the artwork of Camilo Pardo, who was an employee of Ford at one time. He actually designed the GT1 or Ford GT.
Just GT.
I'm sorry?
Just the GT.
The GT, Ford GT. He designed it, mechanically designed that car. So he was also had the artwork penchant and the mechanical design. Maybe he could do some pinball machines, I don't know. But anyhow, they had a falling out. And to get them to talk to each other was quite a stretch, but we did, and I should say George did. He did a lot of work on getting them back together so Camilo could do the artwork for the different cabinets.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Great question, thank you. So a couple more questions, and then we're going to let you go. I asked this in the last panel, and but I think this is a whole totally new audience. So I once heard singer-songwriter Sting say that he knew he had made it when he was laying in a hospital bed and he heard the orderly of the hospital rolling down the hall, a gurney singing "Walking on the Moon," whistling the tune "Walking on the Moon." And that was the point where he said, gosh, I made it, I'm a little bit famous. At what point did you have this realization?
The fame thing, my answer was I wasn't aware that I hadn't made it yet either. But I think when I started doing these shows, it finally hit that they really wanted to bring me out there and talk to me. I said, okay, I'll go. And after the first one, it was kind of, I realized that it was going to be fun.
And when was that? Approximately.
I'm trying to remember the first show that I went to. Gosh. I think it was Pinball Expo in Chicago, probably. I talked there a couple times. But the first long distance one may have been Seattle or TPE in San Francisco. And then I did the show in the UK. I think that was the biggest thing for me. And they actually said, we're going to stick you on a plane for 8 hours and fly out here. I said, okay, cool. The only thing I want to see is Abbey Road Studios. After that, we can go anywhere we want. Okay. But I got there.
Yeah, anything panel you want, as long as it's Abbey.
Got to see the Beatles.
Right. So, sorry.
Go, no, that was all.
So if you did not, there were no pinball, and you were not able to be a pinball designer, what do you think you would be doing?
I really don't know, honestly. Hopefully I would be designing something. I have a little bit of artistic talent, a little bit of mechanical talent, and hopefully it would be something that could keep me happy.
And you're into music, though.
Yeah, that too. Oh, music, that's my respite, you know, where I go to ring myself out and relax, and pick up my guitar, and try to sing.
So you may have been a rock star in another way.
It's possible, but right now the guys that I'm involved with in the band, we're all our delicate age. 2 of us could be retired, the other 3 are real close, and we're all there just having fun.
Great.
And we're playing just classic rock stuff. That's cool. We'll be at the Pinball Expo in Chicago this year. We'll be the lead-off group, the Stone Daddies. Look us up on YouTube. There's a video on there.
All right, last question, and we'll let you go. What's next for you, John? What's next for John Trudeau?
Heaven. Pretty much. I'm 66. There's not much left. I had the plumbing repaired, did a good job. I was out for a year and then it came back, so that's been there for 2 years. And the doctors and everybody are real happy with everything that came out. Me too. And I'm going to continue to do this until they find me on the floor one day, probably. Because I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. I think that's part of having a long life. We'll find out, I guess. But if you can have a good time while you're doing it, there's no reason you shouldn't.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable thing. I wish everybody could experience that reward.
Well, John, it's been a pleasure having you come and share your experiences.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
The history that you've been involved in with pinball. And I want to thank you for being here on the panel and at the show. Let's give him a big hand, folks. Well, right now I'm going to escort John to the signing area down at the end of the hallway.